Imagine a stadium. In this stadium, I place 10,000 orangutans. I give each orangutan a coin. I tell them to flip it. If it's tails, the orangutan is eliminated, sent back to the zoo. If it's heads, the orangutan stays. Round 1, 5,000 orangutans are left. Round 2, 2,500 are left. Round 3, 1,000 to 250. We keep going. Round 10, round 15. Eventually, we are left with one orangutan. He has flipped heads 20 times in a row. The odds of this are astronomical. It is a miracle. Now look at the media reaction. They rush to the survivor. They put a microphone in his face. What is your secret? They ask. Did you practice your thumb technique? Did you visualize the coin landing? What did you eat for breakfast? And the orangutan, he puffs out his chest. He feels powerful. He writes a book, The Art of the Flip, How I Mastered Gravity. He starts charging $5,000 an hour to teach other monkeys how to flip coins. He believes with every fiber of his being that he is a genius. You are laughing. It's just luck, you say. He is a monkey. Now look in the mirror. You are the monkey. You started a business in a boom market. You made money. You think you are a visionary. You bought a stock during a bubble. It went up. You think you are a trader. You survived a risky drive home while drunk. You think you are a good driver. You are confusing the outcome with the process. You are the beneficiary of randomness, but your ego has hijacked the narrative and claimed it as skill. This is the attribution error. When you win, it's because you are great. Internal attribution. When you lose, it's because the market was rigged. External attribution. This biological glitch is the reason why successful people eventually self-destruct. They start believing their own press releases. They mistake a tailwind for their own engine power. And when the wind stops, they fall out of the sky. Let's define the enemy. Outcome bias. This is the tendency to judge a decision based on its result, rather than on the quality of the decision at the time it was made. Example, Man A gets drunk. He drives home at 100 km through Fike. He arrives safely. Man B stays sober. He drives home at the speed limit. A tree falls on his car and kills him. Your brain looks at the outcome. Man A, alive. Success. Man B, dead. Failure. Your primal brain concludes, Man A had a better strategy. This is insanity. Man A was a reckless idiot who got lucky. Man B was a wise man who got unlucky. But your brain rewards Man A. Man A wakes up the next morning. He feels good. He thinks, I drive better when I'm drunk. I have hyper focus. His brain releases dopamine because he survived the hunt. So what does he do next Friday? He drives drunk again, maybe faster, because the outcome, safety, reinforced the process, recklessness. This is how traders blow up accounts. You take a stupid risk, you bet 50% of your portfolio on a meme coin. It goes up, you double your money. The outcome is profit. The process was suicide. But because the outcome was good, your brain wires the connection. High risk, high reward. I am smart. You have learned the wrong lesson. You have been rewarded for bad behavior. This is the most dangerous thing that can happen to a biological organism. If a rat eats poison and tastes sugar, it will eat more poison. Luck is the sugar coating on the poison of stupidity. Eventually, the luck runs out. The probability police arrive, and Man A wraps his car around a pole. Why is your brain so bad at this? Because you were raised in a deterministic environment. School. In school, the feedback loop is perfect. If you study hard, input, you get an A, output. If you don't study, input, you get an F, output. Skill and outcome are perfectly correlated. If you are good at math, you get the math prize. Luck is minimal. This is a high validity environment. Rules are clear. Causality is direct. Chess is like this. Tennis is like this. Surgery is like this. If a surgeon has a shaky hand, the patient dies. If he is skilled, the patient lives. But then you graduate. You enter the real world, the market, business, war, dating. This is a probabilistic environment, low validity. Here, you can do everything right and lose. You can do everything wrong and win. You can study the market for 10 years, have the perfect thesis, and lose because a CEO tweeted something crazy. You can be an idiot who buys a dog coin because it's funny and become a millionaire. The link between input and output is broken by randomness, but your brain is still running the school software. It assumes that every output must have a direct cause. He is rich, therefore he must be smart. He went bankrupt, therefore he must be lazy. I won, therefore I am skilled. You are applying the logic of chess to a game of roulette. In chess, you win because you are better. In roulette, you win because the universe blinked. If you walk away from the roulette table thinking you are a ballistics expert, you are doomed. You will bring that expertise to a higher stakes table and you will be slaughtered. When someone is successful, lucky, we grant them supernatural powers. This is the halo effect. Look at a tech CEO. Let's call him Adam. Adam starts a company. company. He's at the right place, right time. Interest rates are zero. VC money is free. His competitor gets hit by a bus. Adam becomes a billionaire. Now watch what happens. Magazines put him on the cover. Adam is a genius. They analyze his habits. Adam wears black t-shirts. This minimizes decision fatigue. Adam wakes up at 4 a.m. This shows discipline. Adam screams at his employees. This shows high standards. Suddenly his flaws, being a jerk, being rigid, are rebranded as secrets of success. If Adam had failed, which was 90% probable, the narrative would flip. Adam failed because he was rigid, screamed at employees, and was weirdly obsessed with t-shirts. The same traits are used to explain success or failure, depending entirely on the outcome. This is narrative fabrication. We are looking at a lucky lottery winner and analyzing the socks he was wearing when he bought the ticket. Ah, blue socks. That is the key to wealth. And you, the aspiring alpha, you copy him. You wake up at 4 a.m. You scream at your team. You wear the t-shirt and you go broke. Why? Because you are copying the noise, not the signal. You are copying the byproducts of his luck, not the actual drivers of value. Success masks incompetence. A rising tide lifts all boats, including the boats with holes in them. When the tide goes out, luck runs out. We see who is swimming naked. Most of your heroes are naked. Your ego is a lawyer. Its only job is to defend your self-image. It uses self-serving bias. Experiment. Ask a trader why he made money. I did deep analysis. I saw the trend. I executed perfect. Internal. Ask the same trader why he lost money. The Fed raised rates. The market makers hunted my stop. The algorithm glitched. External. Do you see the asymmetry? He privatizes the gains and socializes the losses. He takes credit for the sunshine and blames the gods for the rain. This prevents learning. If you believe your wins are skill, you don't analyze them. You just celebrate. I'm good. No need to review. If you believe your losses are bad luck, you don't analyze them either. Just a bad beat. Nothing I could do. So you go through life repeating the same mistakes, shielded by a wall of excuses. You become a fragile narcissist. You need the market to validate you. When it doesn't, you throw a tantrum. The primal survivor does the opposite. He assumes his wins were luck. I got lucky. How can I reduce luck next time? He assumes his losses were stupidity. I messed up. What did I miss? He privatizes the failure and remains skeptical of the success. This keeps him humble. This keeps him sharp. The man who thinks he is God's gift to trading stops looking for the trap, and the trap is always there. We talked about hindsight bias before, but here we look at it as a mechanism of attribution. You look at the past. It seems inevitable. Of course, the housing market crashed in 2008. The loans were bad. It was obvious. If it was obvious, why were you not shorting it? Why were the banks holding the toxic assets? It wasn't obvious then. It is only obvious now. But your brain edits the memory. It overlays the outcome onto the past. I knew it all along. This feeling, I knew it, convinces you that you have the skill of prediction. I predicted 2008 in my head. Therefore, I can predict 2024. You didn't predict 2008. You had a vague anxiety that turned out to be right by coincidence. Or you didn't think about it at all and invented the memory later. But you bank on this phantom skill. You make a bet on the future based on a rewritten history. You confuse history, what happened, with destiny, what had to happen. History is just one path out of a million possible paths that could have happened. We are living in one specific timeline. In another timeline, the Fed didn't bail out the banks. In another, the internet failed. You are judging your skill based on this timeline, forgetting that you survived a minefield where 99% of the steps were fatal. You walked across a minefield blindfolded and didn't explode. You conclude, I'm good at walking. No, you're lucky you didn't step on a mine. Put the blindfold back on and walk again. See what happens. There is a universal law, regression to the mean. In the long run, everything returns to the average. If you flip 20 heads in a row, the next flips will likely be mixed. If a basketball player shoots 100% in the first quarter, he will likely cool down in the second. If a fund manager beats the market for 3 years, he will likely underperform for the next 3. Luck runs in streaks, clusters. Skill is constant. When you confuse luck for skill, you bet on the streak continuing. This is the hot hand fallacy. I'm on fire. I can't miss. You increase your bet size at exactly the wrong moment. You bet maximum size right at the peak of your luck cycle. And then gravity kicks in. Regression happens. Your performance drops to your actual skill level, which is average, but your bet size is set for superhuman skill level. This mismatch destroys you. You lose in a month what you made in a year. The genius trader blows up. And what does he say? My strategy stopped working. The market changed. No, the market didn't change. The coin just started landing tails. You were never a genius. You were just riding a statistical anomaly, and anomalies always correct. To understand luck, you must look at the graveyard. For every Mark Zuckerberg, there are 10,000 guys who dropped out of Harvard, started a social network, and failed. They had the same grit, they had the same vision, they had the same hoodies. They worked just as hard, maybe harder, but you don't know their names. They are silent. Because history is written by the winners, the sample size of success is corrupted. You study the one winner and ignore the 10,000 losers. You conclude, dropping out of Harvard found success. If you included the losers in your dataset, the conclusion would be, dropping out of Harvard thus unemployed barista. Skill is visible only in the aggregate. If 10,000 people try a strategy and only 5 succeed, the strategy is bad. But if those 5 write books called How I Did It, you think the strategy is good. You are buying a lottery ticket because the winner on TV told you, you just have to believe. He believes because he won. The other 99 people believe too. They just have nothing to show for it. Never judge a strategy by its survivors. Judge it by its casualties. You see a CEO on the cover of Forbes. He has tripled the company's stock price in 3 years. The narrative is, he is a titan. He has the Midas touch. The reality is, he is a surfer who caught a tsunami. In a bull market, everyone looks like a genius. When the Federal Reserve prints trillions of dollars, quantitative easing, money flows into everything. Tech stocks go up, real estate goes up, even pictures of monkeys go up. The CEO happens to be sitting in the chair when the money flood arrives. He didn't build the dam, he just opened the window, but he believes the magazine cover. He believes he caused the rise. So what does he do? He engages in hubris. He acquires a competitor for $10 billion. He builds a spaceship campus. He launches a metaverse division. He mistakes the market beta, the rising tide, for his own alpha, skill. This is the hot hand fallacy. In basketball, statistics show that a player who hit 3 shots in a row is not more likely to hit the 4th. The hot hand is a cognitive illusion. But the CEO bets the company on his hot hand. Then the cycle turns. The Fed raises rates. The tide goes out. The genius acquisitions become toxic assets. The spaceship campus is empty. The stock crashes 80%. The board fires him. He leaves with a golden parachute, still convinced he was right, just unlucky at the end. He destroyed billions of dollars of wealth because he couldn't distinguish between a wind at his back and the strength of his legs. Block 10. The expert problem. Foxes versus hedgehogs. Philip Tetlock conducted a 20-year study on experts. He asked pundits, economists, and intelligence analysts to predict the future. The result? The average expert was roughly as accurate as a dart-throwing chimpanzee. In fact, the more famous the expert, the more they appeared on TV, the less accurate they were. Why? Because TV rewards confidence, not accuracy. TV wants a hedgehog. The hedgehog knows one big thing. Hyperinflation is coming, or tech will save us. They view every data point through this single lens. They are confident. They scream. They make great sound bites. But the world is complex. The world requires a fox. The fox knows many little things. The fox is doubtful. The fox says, on the other hand, the fox is accurate, but boring. The hedgehog is wrong, but entertaining. So you listen to the hedgehog. You listen to the expert who screams, buy crypto, at the top. You confuse charisma with skill. You confuse conviction with truth. The expert is not predicting the future. He is marketing his personal brand. If he is wrong, he pivots. I wasn't wrong. I was just early. If he is right, he says, I told you so. He plays a game where heads he wins. Status. Tails you lose. Money. Never outsource your thinking to a hedgehog. Block 11. The Taleb distribution. The turkey problem reloaded. We must revisit the black swan because it is the ultimate reveal of the luck-skill confusion. Imagine a strategy that makes $1 every day for 1,000 days. It looks like pure skill, consistent, low volatility, high Sharpe ratio. The trader looks like a machine, but on day 101, the strategy loses $5,000. Total P&L, $4,000. Was the trader skilled for 1,000 days and then stupid on one day? No, he was selling risk the whole time. He was picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. Shutterstock. Accrete. This is a negatively skewed distribution. Small, frequent wins. One massive, fatal loss. The human brain hates this. We love steady. We interpret steady as safe. But in finance, steady often means hidden risk. The trader was utilizing leverage to smooth out the returns. He was hiding the volatility under the rug. Luck allowed him to survive for 1,000 days. Skill would have told him to stop, but he confused his survival with mastery. He thought he had tamed the market. The market was just gathering energy to crush him. When you see a graph that goes up in a perfect straight line at a 45-degree angle, run. That is not skill. That is a ticking time bomb. Bernie Madoff's chart was a straight line. Real skill is messy. Real skill has drawdowns. Perfection is always a lie or a fraud. Here is a mind-bending concept from Michael Mauboussin, the paradox of skill. As the aggregate level of skill in a field increases, the role of luck becomes more important, not less. Look at the Olympics. In 1900, the gap between the gold medalist and the last place runner was huge. It was pure skill. Today, the gap between gold and fourth place, no medal, is 0.01 seconds. Everyone is optimized. Everyone has the best training, the best diet, the best shoes. The variance in skill is tiny. So what decides the winner? A gust of wind, a microscopic slip, a bad night's sleep, luck. In the stock market, everyone is a pro. Everyone has algorithms. Everyone has data. The skill edge is razor thin. Therefore, the difference between the best fund manager and the average manager is mostly luck. But we pay the best manager millions, and we fire the average manager. We are rewarding the 0.01 second difference caused by the wind. If you understand this, you stop worshipping top performers. You realize they are just the ones who survived the coin flip tournament. You stop trying to emulate their specific daily routine. He eats almonds. Almonds didn't win the race. The wind did. Focus on the basics, the training, not the magic, the almonds. Luck is dangerous. Luck plus leverage is lethal. Leverage, debt, is the tool that turns a lucky fool into a public tragedy. If you are lucky with your own money, you buy a nice dinner. If you are lucky with $100 million of borrowed money, you buy a yacht. The leverage magnifies the outcome. And because the outcome is magnified, the ego is magnified. I made $10 million this year? No, you made 10% on $100 million of debt, and you got lucky the market didn't drop 10%. Leverage makes you look smarter than you are, until it makes you look dumber than a rock. The dynamic is simple. Trader gets lucky. Ego inflates. I am invincible. Trader borrows money to maximize his skill. Luck reverts to the mean. Market corrects. Leverage amplifies the loss. Liquidation. The lucky fool always finds leverage. It is a law of nature. His confidence attracts lenders. Look at his track record. He can't lose. The bank gives him the rope. He hangs himself. If you see someone getting rich fast, look for the leverage. If there is leverage, it is not skill. It is a gamble. Real wealth is built slowly because real skill compounds slowly. Fast wealth is usually just a leverage bet on a coin flip. Let's apply this to your career. The Peter Principle. In a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence. How does this happen? You are a good engineer. Skill. You get lucky on a project. Luck. Management promotes you to manager. You are an okay manager. You get lucky again. Your team is great. Management promotes you to director. You are a bad director. You don't have the strategic vision. The luck runs out, but you are stuck there. You don't get demoted. You just stay in a job you can't do, miserable and stressed. Luck pushed you up the ladder faster than your skill could grow. This is career inflation. You are trading at a valuation higher than your fundamentals. The imposter syndrome you feel? It might be real. Your primal brain knows you are out of your depth. The solution? Refuse the promotion if it's based on luck. Only accept the promotion if you have the skill to handle the next level. Don't let luck drag you into a room where you will be eaten. It is better to be a king of engineers than a jester of directors. How do you tell the difference? How do you know if you are good or just lucky? The test is repeatability. Skill is a persistent edge. It works on Tuesday and it works on Friday. It works in rain and it works in sun. Luck is a transient anomaly. It works once. If you made a great trade, ask yourself, can I explain exactly why it worked? And can I do it again 100 times? If the answer is, I just had a feeling, it was luck. If the answer is, I exploited a structural inefficiency in the bond market spread, it might be skill. But even then, check the sample size. 1 win, noise. 10 wins, Warner's suspicion. 100 wins, Warner's signal. Most people live their lives based on sample size Tilakar 1. My uncle smoked and lived to 90. Sample size 1. Therefore, smoking is safe. Conclusion, insane. I bought Tesla and got rich. Sample size 1. Therefore, I am a stock picker. Conclusion, delusional. You need statistical significance before you crown yourself king. Until you have num 100, assume you are just a passenger in a random universe. What is the price of this era? It is not just money, it is time. When you think you are skilled, you stop learning. Why practice if you are already a master? The lucky fool stagnates. Meanwhile, the unlucky grinder is working. He's analyzing his failures. He's sharpening his blade. Over 10 years, the grinder overtakes the fool. The fool wakes up one day, broke and confused. But I was a genius in 2021. No, you were a tourist in 2021. The locals have taken their city back. The psychological damage of falling from genius to idiot is massive. Depression, rage, conspiracy theories. The world is against me. No, the world just stopped giving you free handouts. The price of false confidence is the destruction of your reality tunnel. When the illusion breaks, the pain is absolute. Why is this illusion so hard to break? Because false confidence feels amazing. When you think you are skilled skilled, your brain floods with serotonin. You feel dominant. You feel secure. When you admit you are lucky, your serotonin drops. You feel vulnerable. You feel anxious. If it's just luck, I could lose it tomorrow. That thought is terrifying. So your brain fights to preserve the illusion. It defends the I am genius narrative to protect your chemical state. You are addicted to the feeling of agency. You are addicted to being the captain of the ship. Even if the ship is a raft and the ocean is a hurricane, to break this addiction, you must be willing to feel small. You must be willing to feel helpless. Most men cannot handle this. Their ego is too fragile. They would rather hallucinate control and crash than accept chaos and survive. The primal code requires you to kill the ego to save the life. You must detox from the drug of I did this. You must learn to say, it happened, I survived. Next, the first step to recovery is to admit you have a problem. You need to perform a luck audit on your life. Sit down, take a piece of paper, list your 3 biggest wins: the promotion, the trade, the relationship. Now apply the counterfactual test. Ask this question: if I remove one random event from this story, does the win still happen? The win: I made 50K on crypto. The test: if Elon Musk hadn't tweeted that day, would I have made money? Answer: no. Verdict: luck. The win: I got promoted to VP. The test: if my boss hadn't quit suddenly, would I have been promoted? Answer: no. Verdict: luck. The win: I built a body with 10% body fat. The test: if the gym was closed one day, would I still be fit? Answer: yes, because I went every other day for 5 years. Verdict: skill. This is painful. You will find that 80% of your successes are fragile houses of cards built on random events. Your ego will scream. It wants to claim the crypto win as genius. Kill the ego. Label the luck as luck. Why? Because you cannot rely on luck repeating. You can only rely on skill repeating. Once you identify the skill wins, the gym, the coding language you learned, the sales script you mastered, you know what your real assets are. Everything else is just casino winnings. Treat it as a bonus, not a salary. We must rewire your dopamine receptors. Currently, you get a hit when you win. Outcome: you need to get a hit when you execute. Process: in the primal code, we do not judge the kill, we judge the hunt. If you shoot an arrow perfectly, with perfect form, and the wind blows it off course, you succeeded. You executed the process. The wind is not your department. If you shoot an arrow with your eyes closed and you accidentally hit the deer, you failed. You relied on luck. You learned nothing. You are a danger to the tribe. You must decouple your self-worth from the result. The amateur: I lost money, therefore I am stupid. The pro: I followed my rules. I managed my risk. The market went against me. I am smart. I will do the same thing tomorrow. This is Annie Duke's thinking in bets. You are not playing chess. You are playing poker. In poker, you can play a hand perfectly and lose to a river card. If you change your strategy because of a bad river card, you are a result-oriented fool. You must fall in love with the boredom of consistency. Did you wake up on time? Did you do the deep work? Did you eat clean? If yes, you won the day. Even if the bank account went down. Over 10 years, the process always beats the luck. Luck is a sprinter. Process is a marathon runner. The sprinter eventually gets tired. The marathon runner never stops. The lucky fool assumes the future will be like the past. I won yesterday, so I will win tomorrow. The realist assumes the luck will run out today. This is the pre-mortem. Before you start a project, a trade, or a business, assume it has failed. Fast forward 1 year. The project is dead. You are broke. Now tell the story of why. The luck ran out. The market shifted. My laziness caught up with me. By visualizing the end of the luck streak, you can build defenses now. If you know your sales are driven by a lucky Google algorithm ranking, assume Google changes the algorithm tomorrow. What do? You build an email list. You diversify traffic. You build a moat. The pre-mortem forces you to build redundancy. The lucky fool has no redundancy. He is optimized. Optimization is fragile. Redundancy is robust. Nature is redundant. You have 2 kidneys. You have 2 lungs. Why? Because nature knows that luck runs out. If you lose 1 kidney, you survive. If your business has only 1 lucky source of income, you are walking around with 1 kidney. Grow a 2nd kidney now, before the crash. How do you immune yourself against bad luck? You build a skill stack. Scott Adams, creator of Dilbert, introduced this. It is hard to be the top 1% in the world at one thing, e.g., basketball. You need genetic luck, but it is easy to be the top 25% in 3 things. Example: you are a decent writer, top 25%. You understand finance, top 25%. You are good at public speaking, top 25%. Separately, these are average. Combined, you are a financial communicator. You are dangerous. You are rare. Luck cannot destroy a skill stack. If the finance market crashes, you can write about something else. If writing AI takes over, you can speak. The more skills you stack, the more luck surface area you create. You are not waiting for lightning to strike one specific rod. You are building a giant metal net across the sky. You catch opportunity no matter where it falls. The specialist is fragile. The polymath is anti-fragile. Stop trying to be the best at one thing. Be good at 5 compatible things. That is how you beat the genetic lottery. The defining characteristic of the lucky fool is that he eventually hits zero. He bets it all. He leverages up. He dies. The primal code is never hit zero. You must treat your life bankroll like a casino treats its vault. The casino has limits. It has table limits. Why? To prevent one lucky player from bankrupting the house, you must set table limits on your own life. Limit 1. Never bet more than X% of net worth on a single idea. Limit 2. Keep 6 to 12 months of expenses in cash. The Freedom Fund. Limit 3. Never risk your reputation. Reputation is the ultimate asset. If you have a safety net, bad luck is an inconvenience. If you have no safety net, bad luck is a tragedy. The goal is to stay in the game long enough for skill to compound. Compound interest takes time. If you get wiped out in year 3, you never see the explosion in year 20. Survival is the highest form of skill. The guy who is average but alive beats the guy who was genius but dead. How do you stop lying to yourself? You need evidence. You need a decision journal. Every time you make a major decision, hiring, investing, firing, dating, write it down. Write down what I decided, why I decided it, the thesis, what I expect to happen, how I feel, emotional state. 6 months later, review it. This is the black box recorder of your life. You will see the gap between what I thought and what happened. You will see your hindsight bias trying to rewrite history. I knew it would go up. Check journal. Actually, I wrote that I was terrified and almost sold. The journal exposes the lie. It forces you to confront your own stupidity. It forces you to confront your own luck. I was right for the wrong reasons. This is a warning. I was wrong for the right reasons. This is a lesson. Without a journal, you are drifting in a sea of amnesia. With a journal, you are a scientist collecting data on the subject of you. The final protocol is humility. Not the fake humility of, oh, I'm so blessed. I mean the tactical humility of the warrior. The warrior knows that a stray arrow can kill him. He respects the chaos. He does not strut. He stays low. He keeps his shield up. When you are humble, you double check your work. When you are humble, you ask for advice. When you are humble, you save money for winter. When you are arrogant, you spend money like it's summer forever. Arrogance is a signal to the universe. Please humiliate me. And the universe always obliges. The moment you think I have figured it out, you are dead. The primal master knows he has figured out nothing. He is always a white belt. He is always learning. He treats every win as a gift and every loss as a teacher. He does not take credit. He takes responsibility. If you take credit for the rain, you must take responsibility for the drought. Better to take neither. Just plant the seeds, tend the soil, watch the sky. Let's redefine what it means to be a man or a sovereign individual. A child thinks he is the center of the universe. He thinks the world obeys his wishes. Magical thinking. A man understands he is a small part of a massive machine. A man understands that chaos is the default state. A man does not ask for luck. He prepares for misfortune. He builds a life that does not require luck to work. He works hard, so he doesn't need to win the lottery. He is honest, so he doesn't need to remember lies. He is strong, so he doesn't need to beg for protection. He eliminates the dependency on chance. He becomes deterministic in a probabilistic world. I will show up every day, deterministic. I will do the work, deterministic. I will keep my word, deterministic. The world may spin wildly, but he stands still. He is the rock in the river. The water crashes against him, but he does not move. He does not confuse the water for his own strength. He knows the difference. And because he knows the difference, he cannot be fooled. He cannot be broken, and he cannot be stopped. So here is the final calculation. Look at your life. Subtract the luck, subtract the privilege, subtract the bull market, subtract the genetic lottery. What is left? That is who you are. If the answer is nothing, then you are in trouble. You are a hollow shell painted gold. But do not despair, because now you know. And now you can start filling the shell with real iron. You can start building the skill, the discipline, the character. It will be slow. It will be hard. There will be no applause, but it will be yours. And when the storm comes, and it always comes, the gold paint will wash away, but the iron will remain. Stop playing the lottery. Start building the forge.